The morning bell echoed through Ridgeway High, bouncing off the shiny lockers as students rushed through the hallway. It was the kind of place where popularity ruled everything, where the loudest laughers were the cruelest, and the quiet ones were invisible until someone decided to make them a target. That morning, a new girl walked through those doors. Small backpack, soft blue hoodie, black jeans, and shoes that had clearly seen better days. Her name was Lena Hart, 17, just transferred after her father's job moved to town. She kept her head down as she moved through the crowd, eyes searching for her locker, her steps careful, as if she didn't want to disturb anyone. But in a school like Ridgeway, quiet never went unnoticed. At the far end of the hall, 3 figures leaned against the lockers like they owned the place. Troy, the football captain with a cruel smirk, Brittany, the queen bee who lived for attention, and Zach, the joker who loved to turn pain into comedy. When they saw Lena, Troy nudged Brittany. "New girl alert," he said, a grin spreading. Brittany's eyes swept over Lena like she was inspecting a broken toy. "She looks scared already," Brittany said. "Perfect." Lena finally found her locker, fumbling with the combination written on a crumpled paper. Her hands trembled slightly. She could feel eyes on her, that burning kind of attention that made her skin tighten. As she opened the locker, something slammed into it, hard. The door rattled and she stumbled back. It was Troy. "Oops," he said with fake innocence. "Didn't see you there." His friends laughed. Lena didn't say a word. She just straightened her hoodie and whispered, "It's fine." But that small, calm answer only made them laugh harder. "It's fine," Zach mocked in a high-pitched voice. "Oh, she's one of those polite ones." Brittany leaned closer, her perfume choking the air. "You don't talk much, do you?" she asked, twirling her hair. Lena shook her head slightly, avoiding her eyes. Brittany smiled wickedly. "That's okay. We'll make you talk." By lunch, everyone already knew about the new girl. Rumors spread faster than wildfire, that she was weird, quiet, maybe even homeschooled. Some said she cried easily. The cafeteria buzzed with whispers when she walked in holding her small lunchbox. She scanned the tables, all filled, all loud, all unwelcoming. Finally, she sat at the corner near the vending machine alone. She opened her lunch quietly, head down, pretending not to notice the group approaching her. Troy and his friends surrounded her table like a pack of hyenas. Brittany sat across from her, placing her expensive lunch down like it was a throne. "So, Lena, right?" she said, stretching her voice like honey but with poison underneath. Lena nodded silently. "You don't talk much," Brittany said again. "That's kinda creepy." Zach snickered. "Maybe she's mute." Lena tried to ignore them, but then Troy grabbed her lunchbox and opened it. Inside were 2 sandwiches wrapped neatly and a small note from her father that said, "Have a good day, kiddo. Proud of you." Troy held the note up and read it loudly, mocking every word. The table erupted with laughter. Lena's stomach twisted. "Stop," she whispered, but he didn't. He ripped the note in half and threw it on the floor. "There, fixed it," he said. Lena's eyes burned, but she didn't move. Her jaw clenched. Her hands gripped the table. She wanted to lash out. She really did. But she heard her father's voice in her head. "Stay calm, no matter what they do. Control is your strength." So she did. She stood up quietly, picked up the torn note pieces, and walked away without a word. But to them, her silence was weakness. To them, walking away was surrender. Later that afternoon in the gym corridor, the bullies saw her again, alone, carrying her books. The hallway was empty, the echo of sneakers bouncing off the walls. Troy smirked. "Hey, new girl," he called out. She turned, cautious. "We were just talking about you." Brittany giggled, walking closer. "Yeah," she said. "We think you owe Troy an apology for making him look bad earlier." Lena blinked, confused. "I didn't." But before she could finish, Zach moved behind her, blocking the way. "You're new here," he said. "You gotta earn your place." Lena took a step back, clutching her books tighter. "Please," she said quietly. "I don't want trouble." Troy grinned. "Oh, we're just having fun." And then it happened. Brittany, trying to show off, stepped closer, sneering. "She's so fragile," she said. "Like one little touch and she'd break." Then, with a laugh that would echo forever in that hallway, Brittany kneed Lena in the stomach. Hard. The impact stole the air from Lena's lungs. Her books fell to the floor, papers flying. She gasped, eyes wide, dropping to one knee, trying not to cry. The group laughed. "Oh my God, she's actually crying," Zach said. "You're such a baby." Lena's breath came in shallow gasps. Her stomach burned. She could taste blood from biting her lip too hard. She looked up at them, not with tears now, but with something else. Something colder. Brittany saw it and flinched, though she didn't know why. There was a stillness in Lena's eyes that felt dangerous, like the silence before a storm. Then the janitor turned the corner whistling, and the bullies scattered, laughing as they ran. Lena stayed on the floor for a long time, clutching her stomach, breathing heavily. She didn't cry anymore. She just sat there staring at the ground, her face pale and calm. When she finally stood up, she picked up her papers one by one, her movements slow but deliberate. Later that evening, she sat alone in her small room, the light dim, her reflection in the mirror showing a faint bruise forming under her ribs. She touched it gently and whispered, "You shouldn't have done that." On her desk, an old photo stood in a frame, her father wearing a martial arts uniform, holding a medal with little Lena beside him in a white belt. The photo wasn't just a memory, it was a reminder. She got up, opened the closet, and pulled out a small duffel bag. Inside were her gloves, her training wraps, and her black belt, the one she earned after years of training beside her father in their old town. She hadn't worn it in months, not since the move. But tonight, she wrapped her hands again, the leather tight against her skin, the sound echoing through the quiet room. Tomorrow, she whispered to herself, looking in the mirror. They'll learn. The next day, whispers followed her again through the halls, but Lena didn't seem to hear them. She walked straight, her eyes forward, her movements calm, measured. In gym class, the teacher announced self-defense drills, an annual event where students paired up to demonstrate basic safety moves. The moment he said, "Pair up," Brittany's hand shot up. "I'll go with the new girl," she said, smirking. The teacher nodded, unaware of the tension. "Good," he said. "Let's see what you two can do." The crowd gathered as Brittany faced Lena in the center of the gym mat. "Don't cry this time," Brittany whispered with a laugh. Lena said nothing. Her posture was relaxed, her face unreadable. "Ready?" the teacher called. "Ready," Lena said softly. "Go." Brittany lunged first, trying to shove Lena like before. But in less than a heartbeat, Lena sidestepped, grabbed her wrist, twisted it with precision, and in one swift motion, flipped Brittany flat on her back. The sound echoed across the gym like thunder. Gasps filled the air. Brittany blinked, stunned, unable to breathe for a second. Lena didn't move to help her. She just stood over her calmly and said, "That's called control." The teacher rushed forward, wide-eyed. "Are you okay?" he asked Brittany, but his eyes flicked to Lena with something like shock and respect. Around them, the crowd was silent. The same kids who laughed at her yesterday now whispered in disbelief. Troy stood near the lockers, frozen. He had seen her eyes, that same cold fire from yesterday, and suddenly he wasn't laughing anymore. As Lena walked off the mat, she glanced at him once. Just once, and that was enough to make him look away. That night, the whispers changed. "Did you see what she did? Brittany couldn't even move. She's not what we thought she was." And Lena, lying in bed, heard the rain tapping on her window. She smiled faintly. Tomorrow, she knew they'd come again. But next time, they'd think twice before ever laying a hand on her. Because this time, she wasn't the quiet new girl anymore. She was the storm they never saw coming.